Good evening, everyone. Sorry for the delay. Just walked home from work, so thought I'd do this one outside since I'm going to be talking about resetting circadian rhythms. So wait for a few people to join. Thank you. Welcome. Where are you guys calling in from tonight? Well, I know where one is calling in from, so drop it in your comments where you guys are joining from tonight. Welcome, welcome. Give it a couple minutes for people to join. Sorry for the delay. It was trying to hoof at home today. Weather's pretty decent outside. It stopped raining for a while. So we got somebody from Springfield. I was in Phoenix. That's pretty warm. I just got back from Mexico, and it seemed like Phoenix weather. Not a lot of humidity, but a lot of heat. All right, well, we got a few people on here. Well, welcome tonight, everybody. So I'm excited to share this with you. So tonight I can talk about circadian reset. So I'm basically putting myself through the protocol today. So I'm a little bit sleep deprived and jet lagged after a little bit of a flight delay last night, but no worries. I know what I'm doing, and I'll get back on track. Circadian rhythms, your 24-hour cycles, extremely important, and I frequently recommend to my patients to do some sun runs. So if you're not getting optimal sun where you're at, head south. So usually every, seems like at 3 or 4 months I'm heading down to Florida or Mexico to kind of recharge the circadian rhythms and the mitochondria. So you don't have to go there, but I was boosting my natural immunity, getting my vitamin D's up, without supplementation. Last time I did this, I got it up to about 75. So this time, instead of going to Cancun, headed down to the Los Cobos area, wasn't the party area of Cabo San Lucas. It was more the desert resort type of feel, and did basically a 7-8 day circadian rhythm reset. So what does that all entail? Well, that is what we'll chat about tonight. So on how to have an optimal day for my light cycle. Basically, I still got up, kept my rhythm for the most part. I'm usually up about 5 a.m. Central Standard Time. I try to keep it pretty close to that. When I'm elsewhere, I generally wake up within an hour of what I would normally do at home, and usually go to bed about the same time. So my rhythms don't change too much when I get back to St. Louis. So try to stay on the same sleep cycle. But I was up way before sunrise. Sunrise there was about 6:45 a.m. I was up by 4:30, 5 a.m. there. So put on my blue blocking glasses. Mostly wear my darker 550 nanometer blocking ones, so the red ones. So my brain still was getting the signal it was nighttime. And then get outside, and usually people tell me, how much time do I spend outside seeing the sun during the day? That's probably the wrong question. The better answer should be, how little time can you get away with? And the answer should be all the time you possibly can get outside is the real answer. So pretty much I slept inside, and everything else was outside for the rest of the day. I'm definitely rocking a decent tan right now. But I was outside before sunrise, do some meditation for 20 minutes or so, and then would read, generally something on paper. Wouldn't use screens early in the morning if I could help it. Then was outside already for sunrise, and after sunrise, generally went down to the beach area, did some earth and grounding, so get some electrons into your feet, charge up your mitochondria without having to eat so much. Then would eat a big ass breakfast, within half an hour of the sunrise. So a lot of eggs, a lot of seafood, a little bit of fruit because that was seasonal down there. And I'm finished up 75 hard, so I was eating a little bit more paleo, but not as much super clean like I was when I was on 75 hard. Then did a lot of reading by the pool, and soaked up a bunch of sun for the day. But my solar callus is pretty well conditioned at this point, so I don't generally burn. Even in Mexico, it was UV high index of 13 at some point, so extremely intense UV. But if you precondition your skin in the morning time, so shirt off, sunrise, that red light from the sun, the infrared from the sun, precondition your skin for when UV comes out later in the day. And so UVA comes out. Typically, your skin's going to start feeling warm when UVA is out, and then somewhere between half hour or so later, UVB will be out, and that's when you start making vitamin D by converting the cholesterol in your skin to vitamin D. But then it has to get activated in your liver and kidney. That's a story for another day. So yeah, I got pretty roasty toasty, as I sometimes say, but didn't peel or burn while I was down there. My omega-3 index is sky high. I don't have an issue with my omega-6 omega-3 ratio. That's one issue some people have, and that ratio is really out of balance. Optimally, it should be about 4 to 1, so no more than 4 times omega-6 to omega-3, and you typically won't burn as much then. But building up your solar callus, basically is getting a lot of red light on your skin before the UV comes out, and you become able to tolerate it more. So once I got enough sun, then head to the cabana or hid under an umbrella. Don't even think I really wore a hat much the whole trip, and definitely didn't wear sunglasses or sunscreen. Your skin is a solar panel, and it needs all wavelengths of light to be able to be programmed. When you get your full sun, act like the animals and go hide in the shade, or go somewhere else. You don't need to sit out there and beg for 8 hours a day under the sun. Your body doesn't need that much sunlight. You'll probably end up hurting yourself if you do it that way. But eat your seafood, get your sun, and your circadian rhythms are going to be doing better. And then typically I was, at most 2 meals a day. I had essentially no appetite because I was soaking up so much sunlight. My exclusion zone was extremely charged up, so the water networks in your mitochondria store energy when they get the right wavelengths of light, so you can tap on that battery in addition to the ATP that your body's making from eating foods. But you typically are going to notice when you're in a lot of sun, you're not going to feel like you need to eat as much. So still eat the big ass breakfast, get the right amount of protein, the healthy fats, mostly through seafood in the morning. Then would have one more meal, typically 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night, and be done for the evening. And slept like a rock star. This is one of the few trips I said I'm going to really do somewhat of a digital detox. I wasn't on social media very much at all. Tried to read more paper books and articles, and then didn't use any of my trackers for an entire week. So no Oura Ring data, no Whoop Band data. Mostly just said, let's see how you actually feel. And typically after you've played around with those devices for a while, what breaks your sleep quality. And it felt outstanding that trip. So that's kind of my circadian reset. Go to Mexico, don't burn secrets. Open up to any questions people have tonight, and then in the near future, I'll go through an app I played around with while I was down there. I don't want to give away too many details for it just yet, because I'll start sharing it in my stories. But pretty cool app that tells you how to kind of set your circadian rhythms. There's notifications that pop up when UVA comes out for the day, when UVB comes out for the day, when those things go away. You can set your feeding windows for your nutrition. Your other Zygyber that programs your circadian rhythms is time that the nutrients come into your system and are processed by your gut and liver. So I'll talk about that app that I've been playing around with, and have some freebies to give away to people who pay attention to the stories. So be on the lookout for that. So, let's see. I think somebody was talking about Sedona. Yeah, Sedona's outstanding. That's another place that you feel a lot of kind of quote, good energy. I'm not too woo-woo, but there are places in the world that you will feel when you go out earth and grounding. You'll just literally feel the energetic forces be stronger, and Sedona is definitely one of those areas. I wanted to go to Cabo region just to see what it was about. I've never been there before. It's beautiful, had outstanding customer service, excellent seafood. But I will say the sun's outstanding. But the earth and grounding compared to like the Cancun area, the Yucatan, it's completely different. The big crater near Cancun, basically an asteroid that took out the dinosaurs, dug a big. Oops, sorry, pause for a second, I guess. So a crater knocked out the dinosaurs 65 million years ago, and that crater then put the Earth's magma closer to the surface, and essentially that molten core that is basically going to have the earth and grounding more intense because the Earth's magma is closer to the surface of the Earth. So you definitely feel the energetic forces a little bit better in the Cancun region compared to the Cabo region. Yeah, seafood. So yeah, sometimes talk about that I'm going to be doing some health vacations, health retreats, whatever you want to call them, now that the world's in ways opening back up to travel. And we'll see when we can get one of those launched. I'll probably kind of have a trial run, like a half-day seminar in St. Louis, sometimes this summer, and then probably have the first formal Apollo Cardiology Health Wellness Retreat in Cancun, Mexico, sometime in November. So I'll share more details as it gets planned out, but basically going to lead by example, show you how to reset your circadian rhythms, and what I do for my own personal health. I can do these videos, people can pay attention to them, but sometimes it's better to see somebody doing it and be able to ask the questions why you're doing it that way. So we'll talk about that going forward, and look forward to that sometime in November later this year. Somebody's asked a question, does wearing shoes cancel the Earth's grounding benefits? Great question. It depends what kind of shoes are. If they are rubber-soled shoes, then yes, you are basically insulating your body from the Earth, and so you're disconnected from the Earth. So if it's a like a leather-soled shoe, or there are certain grounding sandals and shoes that have like a copper plug in them, where you can then still be connected, you can get the benefit. But if you're anywhere where there's Mother Nature materials, so sand, dirt, grass, it's best just to be barefoot in those materials. That's one reason why your hands and feet sweat. It's so that you make a better connection to the Earth. I have to think about it. I think other than horses who have shoes, I don't think there's any other animals that are not directly in contact with the Earth at all times. This is why your animals lie down on the Earth, and that's generally where they sleep, is on the ground. If that's because the Earth is helping them regenerate their mitochondria when they sleep. But the question about seafood, yeah, that was what I was going to say, that I think, Helios has always been kind of the placeholder name for my wellness retreats. Helios was the sun god, but I think I'm going to actually kind of have the subtitle be, sun, seafood, survival. I think that would be the title. All right. So we have any questions coming in tonight, other than the earthing grounding shoe question? I got the fireplace, got a little bit of heat and infrared. All right, well, we'll keep this to a short one, guys. So just wanted to share my experiences in Mexico, how to do a kind of a sun run where you go down, eat some seafood. Basically seafood is for the DHA component of it. When fish eat the algae, they absorb the DHA into their fat. When you eat the seafood, you get the fat. It's in the SN2 position. When it's in that SN2 position, it gets into the brain, gets into the retina, and then when light enters your eyes, the DHA essentially is not used as fuel. It's used as an insulator to transmit that energy to your cells. How to use light to not burn when you're in high UV index areas, and then continuing your sleep cycles back home. That helps you when you get back to your area without having horrendous jet lag. And then sticking to a time restricted regimen even on vacation, you'll typically bounce back faster when you're back home. Somebody's asking, do I wear sunscreen? The answer generally is no. At this stage, I I can't tell everybody never wear sunscreen. I can't provide medical advice in these forums, but think about this. You evolved, or humans evolved for thousands of years without sunscreen. If you have too much light, the answer is get out of the light. Seek the shade like your animals would. Get a bit wide brim hat. Get long sleeve shirts. Just hide from the sun when you've had your fill. Anything that you're slathering on your skin, for the most part, it's going to get absorbed into your bloodstream, and a lot of those things have endocrine disrupting hormone blockers in them. So unless you're willing to drink whatever you're putting on your skin, you probably shouldn't be slathering on your skin. Now, I'd say generally the exceptions would be, if you're stuck on a boat and you just absolutely can't seek shade, or you're skiing down a mountain and you're getting sun reflecting off of the snow, you're going to get French fried doing that. then potentially, wear a physical blocking sunscreen like a zinc or titanium dioxide. But typically, get your fill for the sun for the day, and then put on the sunscreen if you absolutely need it to. Yeah, this is not medical advice, it's for educational purposes only, something like that. Question, do I wear sunglasses on the beach? No, I do not wear sunglasses on the beach. I kind of weaned myself off sunglasses probably 3 years ago. Again, if you're driving a car and you're going to crash your car because you can't see, put on your sunglasses. But for the most part, if you're in a place where you can kind of control the response, you don't need sunglasses. You did not evolve to have sunglasses on. You need to kind of match up your four surfaces, meaning the light that enters your eyes, hits your skin. The other surfaces is your lungs and then your GI tract. You want your circadian rhythms to all be in balance. So if you put on sunglasses, you're going to tell the brain it's nighttime. Your skin is going to get blasted with UV13. Your skin is going, it's noontime. Then, if you're eating at the wrong times, it's 11:30 p.m. and you're throwing a bunch of food in the stomach's like, well, it must be daytime. Let's start digesting it, and then you're not going to have optimal sleep. So the sunglasses, they mess up, allowing the body to know what time of day it is. So for the most part, I'm not a huge fan of sunglasses. Even though I had some very fancy pairs, they all are collecting dust right now. Sorry to hear about somebody's having some issues with a recurrent pituitary tumor. Pituitary is kind of the master, or I should say, it's one of the locations where the majority of your hormones is made. You basically set your pituitary up through the light that enters your eyes, hit your supracosmatic nucleus, and then the message gets back to the pituitary to start releasing hormones based off of that signal. Somebody's asking, can they go in UVB multiple times a day with a break in between, keeping the time recommendations to the D-Minder app? Yeah, that's the safest way to do it. It's going to matter on kind of what your current solar callus is. How likely do you burn right now? What is your omega-6 to omega-3 ratio? What is your current vitamin D level? That gives you an idea of how much sun exposure you've currently had. And what is your Fitzpatrick type? So some people who have extremely light skin, maybe they're only going to need 5, 10, 15 minutes of UV in a day before they have their fill. If somebody is very dark pigmented, they're going to need 4 or 5 times X more sun. They might need 2 hours a day of sunlight to really get their fill of UVB. So the D-Minder Pro app is free. I highly recommend people check that one out. It has like a GPS app in it that tells you what time of day, for the most part, UVB is out in your environment, and then you can hit the little timer, and it'll give you an estimate of how much vitamin D international units you're making per minute. So it's a pretty cool app. I now at this point know what I'm doing with this, so I don't necessarily play with it. Sometimes I glance at it just to have an idea of where UVB is coming out, but there's a newer app that I'm playing around with that I think is even cooler than D-Minder for the timing of UV, which I'll start sharing information about pretty soon. Somebody's asking, is this recording posted anywhere? This is just currently just being streamed on Instagram TV. Once we're done chatting, that'll go there. And then I do have a YouTube channel. It's Michael Twyman MD, all one word, on YouTube. Typically takes me about 24 hours to edit it up a little bit and then upload it to YouTube. But all my previous recordings are going to be there. I recently rebranded my personal website, drtwyman.com. It's TWYMAN.com. It has links to all my social media pages. Also has links to the devices and the toys and gadgets that I personally play around with. And any of my previous talks about red light therapy, there's links up to those as well. Alright guys, so I think I'm going to check out tonight. I'm going to go try to reset my dinner circadian rhythm, because I'm still on Mexico, California time right now, so I want to kind of shut that window and probably go to bed early tonight to really be ready for the week. So I will I'll be sharing more information this week about some of the other tips and tricks and apps I use this week to keep my circadian rhythms in balance. So be on the lookout on my Instagram stories for that. But this video will be on my IGTV and up on YouTube in the next 24 hours. Next week, I don't think I have a topic yet fully planned out. I've previously done one about endothelial dysfunction equal erectile dysfunction. I might have a kind of follow-up post about that. So I might be doing biohacking for optimal sexual performance. So we might do that topic. That sounds like an interesting one people will be wanting to listen to. So have a great week, guys. If you need anything in the interim, just check out my website, drtom.com. Send me a message, and have a good week. Take care. Bye.